What's up, everybody? This is Chris Smalls, the president of the Amazon Labor Union, and I'm in Cuba for the first time. Viva Cuba!
Chris Smalls, the man who took on Amazon and won.
When COVID-19 came to play, Amazon failed us.
2,000 Amazon workers in New York City across 4 warehouses on Staten Island filed a petition yesterday to form a union.
It's the first time that's happened.
The vote was led by former Amazon employee Christian Smalls.
To the first union in American history. Right now, I'm supposed to be in New York City around a bunch of celebrities that are disconnected from struggle, but I said I'd rather go to Cuba. I felt that shelving everything to come down here to really learn and really experience the Cuban people and the culture, and it was very important to me, so I'm happy and blessed to be here. Coming from a single parent house, being the firstborn of my mom, all of that takes a toll on you as growing up as a black man in America. So the relationship to the Cuban people is hand in hand. I want to understand the struggles. I want to feel everything because I know I relate to it. We may not look as impoverished in certain communities, especially where I grew up, but at the same time, when you're talking about kids being outside, a village raising a family, throw me the ball. Let me see. Hey, what's up, bro? You wanna catch it? That's the era that I grew up in, like where your neighbors watch one another. And kids would be outside just like this. That was me. It's just taking me back and giving me that feel. This is where you get real conversations, real culture, real struggles. When you hear about Cuba, the first thing you hear is negative. It's always about that one stigma that, oh, don't mention Cuba. And that's what we have to change, the stigma, the misinformation that's been put out there for decades. And I want to build that bridge to show people like, no, Cuban people, they just like us. They ain't no different. We go through struggles, they go through struggles. It's not their fault. Dwayne, ask them how do they get water?
Esta comunidad tiene un pozo.
We have a well.
Que nosotros nos beneficiamos del pozo. Nosotros tenemos problemas con agua. La escuela nos queda fuera de la comunidad, pero cerca. Tenemos un consultorio médico de familia, una comunidad pequeña, como ven, está bonita. Y es nuestra comunidad. Es nuestra comunidad.
That's right. Seeing a village, our autonomous community full of women and children and kind of up and down emotion, knowing that there's better in life, but at the same time, humbling with so little, they still have so much joy. Cuba! America has plenty of neighborhoods just like that. It's a lot more hidden. So when people walk past children that are coming from impoverished communities, it's sort of like a norm. For us, we're tone deaf to it. Living our lives like it's normal, and it's really not normal, and that's the sad thing about it. When I went over there and I saw those kids, I saw my kids. That's exactly what I saw.
The best part to me is like the fact that they have so little and they're happy with that. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're in the U.S., we have everything and we mad all the time.
But I have to say that I'm like really impressed with the whole infrastructure of Cuba. I mean, the medical system, the infrastructure of childcare, how the communities are run. So I have to say, like, I'm really impressed considering that the blockade has been going on for over 60 years.
It's like, excuse my French, but it's like, fuck you. If you don't want to give it to me, we're going to make our own and do it our way anyway, and we're going to be fine. And I love that because that's the way it's supposed to be. You ain't supposed to let nobody shape you. You shape yourself.
We kind of knew the basics about the blockade and not really too much in depth until like more so this year when we knew that we were coming down here. That's when we started to like really tap in to that you know, the struggles down here. This trip definitely gonna change our perspectives on a lot of shit.
I'm 28. I was put up before I was even born. Imagine if I was born here. So you punishing me for something that happened when I wasn't even around?
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense. It's just, it's bullying. That's what it is.
There's no way that these children deserve to have the stigma of being on the terrorist list.
Exactly.
The most important thing is, you know, we gotta realize this is a fight that a lot of people are not gonna be too happy we taking on.
Yep.
We're gonna put a lot of things on the line, our reputation, our union, all of that. It's gonna be on the line for a lot of backlash and scrutiny. We ain't gonna stop.
Cuando llegué aquí, yo no te sabía del bloqueo. Yo regresé a casa, ¿ustedes sabían del bloqueo? No.
We need to influence trade unions and activists to pressure the U.S. government to take Cuba off of the terrorist watch list of state sponsors of terrorism.
¡Viva Cuba! ¡Viva! ¡Viva México! ¡Viva! ¡Viva Perú! ¡Viva!
This is my first visit to Cuba, and being a part of the first U.S. delegation for labor is historical by itself. We were invited down here by the CTC, along with a larger coalition of over a dozen countries and over 100 delegates from all over Latin America. I want everybody to understand this visit is going to be a powerful visit because this is going to be historical, not just for myself, for our unions that we're representing, but for the people of Cuba as well. So you have my solidarity, and I want to recognize the folks that traveled in today. Can everybody from the USA and Hands Up Cuba, Amazon Labor Union, and all of our brothers and sisters stand up in solidarity? What I would love to do is continue to push forward and spread the message to end the blockade when we return back to the US. Love and solidarity, people.
Gracias, thank you.
Oh, de nada. It's always three sides to a story, so for me in my short journey of organizing, I learned to take things with a grain of salt, no matter how good things appear. But in order to really find out, you have to see for yourself. I hear, you know, how the unions and the CTC and the government, they work with the people, and the workers seem to be taken care of, and everybody's housed. The healthcare system is, you know, at least everybody gets seen, and I know there's a disconnect there. And that's just like any other government. No matter if it's a worker-led country or not, it's always going to be, you know, friction between the workers and the top establishment, because the workers are always going to be the one putting in the work, and the people at the top are always going to benefit more. Who next? Somebody else. And I love the fact that it's right here in the hood of Havana, because the culture, you can just feel it. And that's what Cuba is. It represents that. People, culture, I love it.
Come kick,
I love kids, you know, so like,
we be better.
I just was curious to see what type of artists they listen to, so I'm like, they like all the old school big names.
Pull up,
Pretty cool.
go change.
I need to tell you hi.
Oh yeah.
I'm glad to see you.
Yeah.
I've seen you on TV.
Thank you.
I know you're doing a great work, union work.
Thank you.
So
No problem.
I'm
Yeah,
very
absolutely,
happy
man.
to see you here.
Yeah.
Really good to meet you, man.
You too.
Get a picture with you.
Absolutely. From the experience I've gained with the youth and seeing over 200, 300 kids, young adults, travel from all over the world, all over the US to come here to fight against the blockade and stand up for one cause is really, you know, something that I learned, that we all have that fire in us.
I'm an organizer with UE.
Okay.
We're really excited to see
yeah.
another independent union. You're such a hero to our
Yeah. A lot of the people I spoke to from other countries, they said that they were inspired from what they seen us do last year. So that was great to hear over and over again from multiple people.
We're looking at your work.
Absolutely. I understand that people need that inspiration, and I try to give them as much time as I can, as much as me as I can, because it's a hard fight. In my first visit here in Cuba, I already fell in love with this country. I already fell in love with the people. And I want to say thank you, but we're going to prove to them the resiliency that Cuba stands for. And we're going to prove to them, once again, there's no amount of money in the world that can stop us. The root of all evil is the money. And this is the reason why this blockade is in effect. Let the people know the truth. Now, when we leave here, we got to return home and spread that fire like wildfire. How we want to move, we take stances that we see fit. The Cuban people is what we see fit. We need to let them know that more union presidents should be standing with the people of Cuba. I'm just trying to do what's right. And I think the union that I represent is trying to do the same thing. We're trying to stand up for workers' rights. If you dislike what I'm doing, then why don't you get involved and do something different? Or do something to change whatever you're fighting for.